So here we go
Yeah.
with our next guest. All right. Our next guest is Tareef Michael. Now, Tareef Michael, among other things, so just an incredible life's journey. Is one of the co-founders of the Wu Foundation and the general manager for the Wu-Tang Clan, and just this incredible human being. My daughter Jasmine introduced me to Wu-Tang Clan in the 90s when I didn't know nothing about rap. All right. She'd get in the car and crank it up real loud and go and rap down every lyric. And little did I know that through my relationship with collaboration, that I would find myself engaged with, doing things with Wu-Tang and with Tareef and Power Grant, another one of those great leaders from that group, and involved with him in the Peace Coalition here in Chicago that Anthony Mosley pulled together, and the reinterpretation of their work that went into some work that we did with Riot Fest. But all that to say that this dude is a bad brother. He's not just some learned brother. He's not just some, I've got the silver spoon. No, this cat done walk the walk into the belly of the beast and out again, still making a difference in the community. It's everybody. Give a big welcome to my friend and colleague, Tareef Michael. What up? What up?
Peace.
Legend.
Man, so good to see your face and see that awesome beard. I want to give you a chance to kind of break the mic a little bit, open it up a little bit, and say a few words about your life's journey and with Wu-Tang, but more importantly, what you've learned from taking those strong horses that are moving in all different directions and coalescing them into an iconic brand, and what that might mean to our communities in terms of getting our activists working together. Go.
Well, first of all, I'm humbled and appreciative to be here. I thank you guys for the opportunity. It's been almost 3 years now that since we started on a journey of collaborating in Chicago and trying to connect one another on this mission for peace and to end the violence there. So I'm definitely thankful that we're still moving the needle and still connecting. As far as, for me, in regards to Wu-Tang and so forth, for me, it's just a beautiful journey and struggle, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Knowing, where we came from. So, for me, I grew up with these brothers. I was blessed to grow up with them. We ran the streets together as youth and so forth. And as any youth, we have dreams, we have aspirations, but yet there are a lot of challenges in many of the areas, such as the area we came from, to make it out and make those dreams and those aspirations a reality. So, for us, and to see that now, we're talking, as far as Wu-Tang is concerned, we're talking 26 years now, almost 27 years.
Yeah.
But our friendship goes, we're talking over 35 years, our bond.
Yeah.
So to see it to where it is now and to where, we travel the world and we're able to see the impact that we've had on the world, you know what I mean? And for me to be a part of that journey is just a blessing, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those things that I never forget. Every time I look at my brothers, to understand that, 25, 35 years ago, we were on the block, taking chances and risk and just like any, youth or young people, just trying to find our way. So, in essence, with us collaborating with you guys and things like that, just coming to Chicago, we've always, that's one thing I could say for us, is that we've always been close to the ground, if that makes sense, in the sense that, you know, we've always been about the people and we've never forgot the people in a sense, you know what I mean? And
Yeah, yeah,
Newtown has been known for that, you know, to be close with the people, you know? So, you know,
yeah.
I'm thankful
That
to you.
that's beautiful. Tell us a little bit about what went on with the kind of work you're doing in Long Island. Y'all had this big street party and whatnot for the youth and the community and whatnot. Give us a little insight on that and other things that you might be doing to make a difference in the world.
You said in Long Island?
Yeah,
Or Staten Island?
Staten. Yeah.
Well, it's always things going on in Staten Island, you know, whether it's us directly or people that we are connected with. I mean, obviously for us, you know, you have 9 members plus, you know what I mean? So
Sure.
if you connect people to each member, now that grows 10 each member. So, you know, so we have people around us that are constantly doing things. As far as Staten Island right now, like from the area that, you know, the majority of us grew up in, which is Park Hill. You know, right now there's a lot of things going on as far as, you know, food, giving out food to those who are less fortunate or don't have, you know, the means to get out and get food, the elderly, the youth, and so forth. So there are many things going on around that. There are mass giveaways that are going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's pretty much around New York in general. But on the bigger picture right now, we're actually trying to put together something right now, which would be a kind of a virtual program that we're looking to do. And
Mm-hmm.
we'll be connected probably with the World Health Organization, Facebook, we're hoping, and a couple other things. We're hoping to do it real big and, you know, bring awareness, bring resources, bring funding to the places that need it, to the essential workers, to, you know, these communities. When you look at, you know, like this is similar to Chicago, in New York, you know, there's a lot of project buildings and tenements or whatever you
Right.
want to call it, right?
Right.
So you can imagine all those people that live in these areas. I mean, one thing I think about New York, right, is that, you know, when we see how the pandemic has hit New York, you got to understand the population of New York and how many people are in New York on living on top of each other. You know,
Right.
I think that's why. And then on another note, we've discussed as well, and I think, you know, and I think that's one thing that's been great about Chicago that I've seen too. But we've discussed, you know, in New York, it's unfortunate, but healthy eating and that healthy lifestyle is not abundant. You know, like whether you're in California and some other places, you know, health awareness. You know, in New York, you know, a lot of people aren't eating right. So
Sure.
when you look at that, you know, and that's something that I try to preach and push all the time is to be able to eat, you know, properly. And that's a big, you know, part of it, you know, as far as keeping ourselves healthy. So, you know, those are just some
Yeah,
of the
I like
things.
that. I like that. I want to turn this question a little bit different because the food touches the body touches the spirit touches spirituality. And I know that's a big part of your life. What are you learning from all of this that you could share with us that could help a person living in the streets where I live? You know, I'm in Inglewood and whatnot, you know, and then some of the places that you know about elsewhere around the world, that if you could say some words to us that will give us some courage to do those things that are most necessary to get through this phase we're in right now. What would you say?
I mean, you know, for whatever reason, why we're at this state right now with the pandemic or what have you, I think, you know, for me, it's, and I'm sure, you know, you guys know how busy my schedule is, and we're traveling the world all the time. And if not, we're preparing to travel, or we have shows going on and this and that. You know, this is really giving us all a chance to slow down. Now,
Yeah.
granted, there's a lot of, you know, it's a sad thing with all the deaths and everything, but yet at the same time, you know, I just try to take, you know, the good out of it and look at it where, you know, I want to take advantage of this time right now
Mm.
to, whether it's get my health together more, whether it's to read more and make myself knowledgeable more, whether it's to work on things that I didn't have a chance to work on before. You know, I
Yeah.
think this is the time, you know, and a lot of people too, I think it's important to try our best to not live in fear. You know,
Mm.
we talk about that a lot, and a lot of times by living in fear, that actually has an effect on the immune system. Probably
Yeah.
one of the biggest effects on the immune system is
Yeah.
living in fear. Yes, live safe, but please don't live in fear. You know, do the best you can. You know, like I said, you know, like you spoke on, you know, I'm a man of faith, and I believe that regardless of what's going on, when it's my time to go, it's my time to go. And
Yeah.
I'm going to live it, and I'm going to do the best I can in the moment until it is time for me to go.
Yeah.
That's what I would
Yeah.
share with everybody, you know?
Yeah, I appreciate that. I'm going to invite Dr. Slick J. Nicole Brooks to ask a question here, you know, as we kind of close this thing up a little bit. But I know that she's got something that will open this conversation up. So what you got, what say you, Doc?
No pressure. You know, I'm already nervous talking to a legend. Come on now, man.
Pleasure.
I really want to thank you for your work, brother. I first, I learned so much when I was in college studying theater about ensemble from the Wu-Tang Clan. I learned a lot about watching all of these entities come together and just simply exist as this one conglomerate. And so I guess sometimes I wonder, while we're in this quest of being together yet not together, do you think we will have a sort of return to seeing more ensemble or together or crew or collectives or however you want to call it? Do you think that we will see more of that? And that might bend a bit more towards music and pop culture and that sort of thing. But do you think that that might happen as a result of going through COVID?
I mean, absolutely. Like I said, you know, you got to remember for us, you know, we function as a group, but yet we function as solo artists. So when guys aren't with the group, they're trying to pursue their solo activities. So, you know, in a situation like this, it slowed us all down to where we could just stop, and we have no pursuits right now except what we choose to pursue. So we definitely, so we have our Wednesday calls every Wednesday to discuss things. And in the discussion is, we are preparing music right now. So we're working on music during this time. And we're working on a few types of programs during this time to take advantage of this downtime, so that we come out of this to be able to give the world things that we didn't have time to give them before, in a sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Last year was
Time is a construct and fear eats the soul. So we want to keep pushing you along in your journey and supporting you. Thank you so much for making space for me to just ramble on like that. There's my night, Dr. Marcus. I got to talk to
I'm humble. I appreciate it.
I know I would be remiss if I didn't let Anthony in on this conversation, because he's the nexus point that brings us all together. So Anthony, what's on your mind? What's on your heart? What do you want to hear from my brother Tareef?
It's so good to see you, Tareef, and share time and space again. The story goes something like Tareef was in an airport and he saw a news report about all the violence in Chicago, and he picked up a phone and started doing what he did, and eventually he and I connected, and you know, next thing you knew, he was dropping into Chicago and on the ground, as he put it, meeting you know, hundreds of folks that are running community-based organizations who are trying to dismantle oppression, classism, racism, poverty. And I, you know, my question, I would love to hear your perspective on Chicago as a city, the difficulties that you've seen, and then the greatness of the city. You know, you came in and really went deep. And I'd love for you to reflect back to us, like, our strengths and weaknesses as a city, and that's what I would love to hear from you.
Well, first of all, thank you, Anthony, because like you said, you were the conduit. You know, you were that centerpiece that allowed us to be able to, bring about whatever we wanted to do in Chicago. You know, you played that major part in that. We're thankful to you. I love Chicago, man. It's our third home, and it's so much love in Chicago. And for me, it's almost sad to see that there's almost two worlds that exist in Chicago. You
Yeah.
can go downtown and it's just beautiful and you love it. And then you can go out to some areas that it's like you down south or somewhere in a third world country almost, And, when we talk to youth, as you know, some of them have said they haven't been downtown ever.
Yeah.
Or they don't go downtown or things like that. So those are things that, obviously, trouble me, in that they don't get to experience that because there's so much, wonderful things to experience in Chicago. Chicago's a great city. I love going to Chicago. Any chance I can get to go to Chicago, I love being in Chicago and being around the people, But, in regards to Chicago, I've been paying attention to Chicago, and it's just, even with the pandemic, I'm a little saddened that there is still violence taking place. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I do want to, because a lot of times I think that, and we've talked about this recently, I think that gets more highlighted rather than the work that the people are doing out there. There's a lot of beautiful people like yourselves, all of you on the panel, that are doing great work, and all the other organizations, and that needs to be highlighted. And that's something that we said originally when we wanted to come there, is to help highlight that, the work that you guys are doing. And again, going back to what I've always spoke about, man, the women of Chicago, man, y'all the truth.
I'm sorry, what? That's my trick ear. I didn't hear you. Say it again.
The women in Chicago, man, y'all put in the work, man. I say it every time. Anthony knows that. Marcus knows that, man. I salute the women. Y'all on the front lines. I always say it. The men, please continue to step up. We have to step up to the challenge. The women are on the front lines, man. They need our help and they need support, man. I say that every time.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. We're coming to the close of our time now. Tareef, I just want to say that we are blessed to have you in the midst with us tonight. We are deeply appreciative of the relationship that we've been cultivating with you and the rest of the team at Wu-Tang Clan, and all of the folk on the ground, like 30 or 40 different agencies that you've been connecting with in, through, and around us. And that the work goes on. The battle is strong. The pandemic is big. But we are a match for that mountain. We know that we are a match for that mountain. And we're thankful for you and coming on board to help us move this thing forward. In fact, we want to highlight one of those community partners here in our shout out here. So I'm going to throw the mic back to Slick and have her really, bring to light some highlight, as you would say, on some beautiful work going on in Chicago.
Thank you, Tareef. Thank you, brother. Great to see you, man.
Peace. Thank you.
Peace.
Thank you.
It's not over.
It just begun.
That's right.